Y'all, welcome back to Dots and Beyond. My name is Beth. I am back in the one planner experiment. We are going to do a full setup for October. We're going to look at the quarter. We're going to look at the month, at the first week of October. Let's go ahead and get started. So when last we met, I had set up this bullet journal for a brand new quarter. We are going to start here on the quarter pages where I have just some intentions for the quarter for each month. These are not goals that we're working towards. It's October and I want to do this sort of a thing. Here I have set up 3 months worth of habit trackers, and then we will get into the month and the first week of October. Now I did assign each one of these months a designated color for October. This is an Ohuhu water-based dual tip brush pen, and it is number 36. This is my everyday writing pen. It is a Sharpie S Gel 0.07, I think. A very hefty pen, very weighty. I just love it, and so I try to do as much as I can with it. Now, I did decide that I'm going to try to decorate this a little bit, and probably not on this page. We'll do this when we get to the monthly. I have some stickers here that I have made. Now, when I say I have made, I can draw, and I could make stickers if I wanted to make stickers. These are all icons and clip art and photographs straight out of Canva. I've just curated them into the ones that I wanted, tweaked the colors to make them match the rest of the stickers. I have Canva Pro. This comes with it. And why make life harder for yourself when you can use what somebody else has already put together? You're just going to have to dig through Canva and dig through different searches to figure out what you are looking for. Now this time I did print them on glossy sticker paper because I'm out of the matte. That is not my preference. I do prefer the matte sticker paper, but I have a bunch of pages of glossy, so we're just going to use them. We're just going to use them and get rid of them. One of the reasons I don't like the glossy is sometimes the ink will come off on my fingers, which I think it's already doing since I just picked up those and played with them. It is what it is. If y'all are interested in me making that curated sticker sheet available, if anybody wants those, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see about throwing that up as a printable PDF or something. But again, not my art. All came straight out of a Canva. I just put together what I wanted to use. Let's go ahead and get started here. Again, this is one of those plan with me's where Beth has to turn the book so that she can put what she wants to put in here. And we're going to go ahead and write in some of these quarterly intentions. It is fall and I want to go on a hike. I'm not a big hiker simply because I'm a big girl. If I lost some more weight, I'd probably go on a whole lot more hikes. I do live in Arkansas, which is the natural state. We have lots of great hiking here, lots of great nature. It is a beautiful state, and I want to go on at least one hike. Just at least one. Just take a day, turn off the phone, take it with me in case I need it, but turn off the phone, spend some time in nature. I want to watch Practical Magic. And yes, there are lots of witchy movies. And there are lots of Halloween movies, and I don't know how much time I have for that. And that's one of my favorites. So I'm going to make time for Practical Magic somewhere along the way. I want to try and do, because I have a fairly quiet month. There's wood under here. I'm going to knock on. I want to try to do a weekend readathon. It just seems like something that would be fun. I don't know. Just putting it out there, try to film things ahead, get my weekend clear so I'm not on all the devices or watching television, and just do a readathon. Drink a lot of tea and coffee, read some books, inside, outside, wherever, just do some reading. Up here, I ran out of lines because I was skipping lines. I also want to do some shadow work. I have a booklet that I got in the Tamed Wild subscription box for September. I'll link Tamed Wild down below. It's very witchy stuff if you are interested in that at all. It typically comes with some kind of quarterly workbook, and this time it was like a shadow work one, which is just really in in-depth journaling, personal reflection. That's all that is. And I want to do those 90 days, which is this whole quarter. It just timed out well, but it's one of those things that I'm going to put a tracker in my journal to remind me to do it so that I do it. So that'll come up again. I do want to go see Killers of the Flower Moon when it comes out. I have not read the book. Maybe I should, but I'm not gonna. And then Netflix is releasing, or has released, I need to check and see when it comes out, a Fall of the House of Usher adaptation. It is more modern than Edgar Allan Poe's Fall of the House of Usher, but that's a theme that's going to come up later this week. Fall of the House of Usher. So I want to check that out. I want to see what it's going to be all about. And I will erase my pencil lines a little bit later because my good eraser has disappeared and I know where it went. The cats have absconded with it and I don't have a backup. I normally have multiple backups because I have to remember to put my erasers away. Faramir and Awen will always steal my eraser and it's gone. So we're going to have to erase pencil lines later. And that's it. That's my sort of fun, vibey October intentions. Like I said, those are not goals and actions that I'm working towards. They're just stuff I want to do. And then last time we were here, I had only put in an indicator for steps and sleep. I have added one for water intake as well. So those dots will be hollow, and that's how I'll differentiate them. So those are just going to be bar graphs. Here's my midpoint on October, my midpoint on November. So this is like the 5 marker, the 10 marker, and those are just line graphs. But one will be solid black, one will be dotted, and the other one will be solid black, but the connecting dots will be hollow. So that I just use this pen and I don't have to break out any color, even though I will have this one around. And if I decide to add a 4th thing, I would probably make it a bar graph going this way instead of a line graph and use the yellow for a signature color for October. But I'm going to try to avoid that, I think. But it's here if I need it. We're just going to go and jump straight into the October monthly. I set this up when I set the journal up because I did set up some beginning pages. All 3 months of the quarter, October, November, December, all of the weeks for the quarter, to week 41, first full week of October. So we have those ready to go. Now I have thought and pondered what I want to do with a monthly setup because most of this I have in a digital format. And I've talked about this in my regular artistic bullet journal, which I'm still keeping at least through the end of the year. And I think I'm going to primarily keep it for memory keeping, just like I am that journal. But I am going to go ahead and put some of the big things on it. I'm also a big quote affirmation girly. It's one of those things that I did a review of all of my past journals before moving into this one. It was really planning for 2024. And I thought, oh, I really missed that. And y'all, I think I'm getting a little bit sick, so I'm going to take a drink of some of my tea. So I have picked out a quote to put here on the top, and we're going to go ahead and put that in. Okay, and that quote is, "The world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper." And then the few things that I'm going to put in here, you see I already have my moon phases. We are going to put that one starts on October 31st. Now I did try to keep a 5-week setup. So when we get to the 29th, my 30th and my 31st are up here just for aesthetics because it's one of those weird weeks where you end up with 6 in a row. And then most of what I have going on is closer to the end of the month. And then I have some exciting stuff at the beginning of November. So this week and then the next week are going to be good weeks for me. But again, I live in Arkansas, and on the 21st is Central Arkansas Pride. They've always held it in October instead of June. I actually used to be the venue event manager where Pride was held, the big amphitheater and open air space here in Little Rock. And I miss those guys. I miss them being my client, and I would really love to go out and support them on the 21st if I can make that happen. So I wanted to make sure and put it somewhere. It's also in my phone so that as it starts getting closer, I can go out and give some free mom hugs and just support those people. I probably need to volunteer for them now that they're not my client and help them out. And then on the 24th of October, I have tickets to the touring Broadway production of Six, and I am so excited to finally see this musical. Just dying to see it. And again, it takes place in a venue where I used to work, and I know when the pre-sale is, and I get the codes and all of that sort of stuff. I don't get the free tickets, but I used to work there. And then a few weeks ago, if y'all were watching my video, I went to see the complete works of Shakespeare abridged, the same venue that has a series going on this year. And one of the acts that they are bringing in are Clay Aiken and Ruben Studdard from American Idol fame that are on tour together. And I had said something about it to one of my friends, and she was just, oh. And the next thing I knew, she bought us all tickets. I didn't tell her I wanted to go. I will go. I'm sure it'll be fine. Not necessarily my vibe. I love all music. I really do. I say that. Most country is not up my street. A few things cross over from time to time. But yeah, so we've got Pride on the 21st, and then I've got back-to-back shows on the 24th and the 25th. Now, one of the other things that I've decided I want to put down in this space is some favorites. And so we're going to put some categories for some monthly favorites down there. Okay, and I have left myself a space for favorite song, favorite YouTube video or creator, whatever I'm vibing with this particular month, show, meal, and moment. So those are all there. Now I am going to filter through some of these stickers. It's probably going to involve some analysis paralysis, so we're going to speed it up. I'm going to pick some stickers and get them put on here as well. And again, these are on clear sticker paper. One of the reasons I did that is because this is off-white paper in the bullet journal edition 2. Can get off-white sticker paper. I got these. So this is what we're using. The other thing about them is when they're down. With that corner caught, I had to just commit to it and go, that's where that's going to go. So this is a good way to illustrate. One of the reasons, again, I don't like using the glossy sticker papers because some of the ink will stick to your fingers, and then it's stuck to the bottom, the sticky part of my sticker, and now I have this smudgy smudge. That's enough for now for me. I may add a little bit more at a different time. I also have some that I did that were like washi strips. Look at how light that is. It doesn't really show up. This is, you can see it, this is moons and stars. Not sure if I'm gonna use those, so I have them tucked off to the side. But so there we go. So then I will use the rest of this mainly for memory keeping and come in and either put a little bit every day, or those days that I have more interesting things take place, or if something else comes up that I really need to be like, oh, you need to put it on here and put it on your digital calendar and put it everywhere so that you don't forget it. And that's what we will do there. Otherwise, I am just gonna add a line just right there, just to give it a little more. Okay, and let's move on to, there's November and December. Let's move on to week 41. I did pencil in a little bit more than I usually do when I go in to do a weekly setup, just because I'm still trying to figure out how these weeklies will work well for me. It's just one of those things. I am going to indicate that Wednesday is a video day and that Sunday a video day. I'm going to put in my working hours first. So there is my 8 to 5 working hours. I'm still playing with abbreviations on where I'm working. So I am remote 2 days a week when I am able to do that. Again, as an event manager, like last week, I had no remote days. We had 3 events last week. I was in the office every day last week. But when I can, I do have 2 remote days. They're typically Tuesday and Friday. So I've at work, at remote, at work, at remote. And I've started using remote instead of home. 90% of the time I do work from home. I can work from anywhere as long as I'm within driving distance of the office. If there were some reason they needed me to come in and I needed to be there, I do need to be available, I can work from anywhere. I can work from a park. I can work from a Starbucks. I can work from Barnes & Noble and the cafe. I could work from anywhere, and just have got to stop talking with my hands because look at what I just We're not going to worry about it. Okay, so I also decided that I wanted to stick a quote on the top of this weekly. I actually have a fairly quiet week, and like I said again, I don't want to jinx it. But compared to September, and specifically this past week, which was just a shit show, I have a relatively quiet week, and I'm going to try to embrace it. So I'm going to put a quote here at the top about doing things and how to let it go if you don't get those things done. All right, and I'm not 100% positive I got this perfectly right, but it says we can't be perfectly balanced or we navigate the pendulum swing of our days. We can only wobble toward what we need. And that is a quote by Madeline Dorr in her book, I Didn't Do the Thing Today, Letting Go of Productivity Guilt. And can't we all use that just a little bit? Okay, we have that. I do put that up at the beginning of the day, even before the 6 a.m. I've talked about this before on how I don't have much of a morning routine. I definitely need to develop one now that some medications and things have gotten worked out and I am sleeping much better. I'm sleeping more consistently. I would love to be able to get up at 6 a.m., have some sort of routine between 6 and 7:30 before I get in the car and go to the work. Instead, I just roll out of bed, I take a shower, I go to work. I feed the cat, I go to work. That's what I do. I would love to have some sort of morning routine that helps me feel a little bit more grounded before I'm on my way to work or, at home logging into the computer. I've just never been good at it because I am a terrible morning person. I absolutely hate mornings. But so there's that for the week. I'm also going to put in my lunches as well as some meetings that I have for work or abbreviations of meetings that I have for work, just so I know where they are in the week. But when I glance at this, again, most of my work tasks are in the Microsoft ecosystem. That's where they live for where I work. I use Planner and other things. But for now, we're going to stick a few things in here so I know where those are at. Okay, so there we go. And I'm starting to write angled up because I'm not turning the book the whole way. So then writing is going, it's a mess. Okay, that's fine. But there is a few of those things. I put in lunch at noon every day. Nobody has scheduled a meeting, so now I've blocked it off for myself. I am the chair of our MVP committee at the organization that I work for. That committee meets on the first Monday of every month to vote for the next month's MVP. So we have that on Monday. I have another meeting on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I have the MVP surprise for October. So I will pop up with the CEO of our organization and just totally hijack and surprise that person in the middle of their workday and honor them with being the monthly MVP. I also have an employee appreciation committee meeting that day and a staff meeting that day. And then Wednesday or Thursday and Friday, I don't have any meetings on my calendar right now, and I'm really going to hope it stays that way. I'm probably going to block some of it off for some project time. And then we move into dinners. I've talked about this before. We do HelloFresh a lot. Stopped writing in the exact meal that we would have because I move them around all the time. And typically they get cooked in order of least difficult to most difficult because I'm tired every day when I come in and I always choose the easiest one to make. but I've started just putting HF on the days that I know we're probably going to have HelloFresh. Sometimes that does change. Wednesdays, my son Kenny, who lives with me, is typically out and about doing things with friends. Sometimes I cook a HelloFresh and have the leftovers for the next day. Sometimes I do something all on my own, so I'm just going to leave that blank. And then we will put in a couple more. We'll probably have one on the weekend. We get 4 a week, but I'm not entirely positive what that's going to look like yet. We kind of wing it when it comes to the dinner meal, but starting to get 4 meals for the 2 of us of HelloFresh. We started back in March or April. This is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but 2 months on it, and things my doctor needed to started happening. My blood pressure came down. My A1C was down. My blood sugar was lower. My cholesterol was lower. And so we've just stuck with it because it makes it easier to pick vegetarian meals and it takes away the stress of grocery shopping, which I loathe. Here on the weekend, I'm probably just going to put a couple of to-do lists, one for Dots and Beyond and one for never-ending domestic shit. And then down here, I'm going to put some reminders. I've done this before, used some stickers before, but I'm also going to use a dot marker. I have a yellow dot marker, but it's a brighter yellow than this. So I decided to go with just a brown one to match some of the same tones that are in these stickers. My main color is still the yellow for October. We'll go ahead and give Dots and Beyond here and domestic a header. I'm going to use some dot markers to put in some reminders. Okay, so that is the reminders for the week. I'll probably end up, extending this to-do list down, but we're just going to start with 5 spots on each for now. And this is going to be things like that I do on weekends. It's going to be laundry. And then what I need to do for Dots and Beyond. On Monday, we typically have some sort of Walmart delivery to round out our HelloFresh. On Tuesday is our HelloFresh delivery. I have that scheduled on Tuesday because that's when I work from home. Starling House by Alex E. Harrow comes out on Tuesday. I have had it pre-ordered, so it should be delivered on Tuesday, so I have that reminder in there. I had ordered another book called Rock Chick. The thing that's going to be happening in November is that I'm going to be going to Denver, and I decided I wanted to read a book that's set in Denver. If I'm going to start doing weekend getaways again, I'm just going to start reading a book that is set in the place that I do the weekend getaway. So I ordered this book and it's supposed to come in on Wednesday. The other reminder I put in for myself on Wednesday, I'm a lady of a certain age and I have started hormone replacement therapy. I had a hysterectomy 11 years ago, and yeah, the menopause thing is here. It has happened. It has been happening for several years. Ladies, young ladies, let me just tell you, when you get to this point and this thing starts to happen, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it, because I let it go. I've been having hot flashes for years. They're okay to deal with, whatever. There's a lot of other things that happen when this change starts to happen to your body. And one of those things that is the most common is brain fog, the inability to concentrate. A lot of the things that we associate with COVID now. Talking to my therapist about it, and it is one of the leading causes of women quitting their jobs in their early to mid 50s or later, pre-retirement age, simply because they think they're no longer capable of doing their jobs. And we have medicine for that. So, you don't have to suffer through it. I started having the brain fog, and we thought maybe it was related to my bipolar disorder. We've tweaked those medications. I'm still having it. So now I have hormone replacement therapy. This is the first week that I'm on it, and I have to change. It's a patch that you stick on your abdomen, and you have to change it twice a week on very specific days. You pick your pattern, Monday and Friday, or anyway. So I have to change my patch on Wednesdays and again on Sundays. So this is down here to remind me, because this is so brand new. It's not like this reminder that is medication sort, because I've become one of those old ladies that likes to have her pills sorted. And ta-da. I got this off Amazon because not only a lot of pill sorters are a Sunday start, y'all. That's not okay. We don't do Sunday starts in this house. So this one, they're individual. They're day and night. And I can put them in whatever I want, or what order I want. Monday is here. And if you have an overnight, you can just take the ones that you need with you. You don't have to take the whole pill sorter. If you just need a day or two, they're portable, they come out. Yeah, I've become that old woman. I'm not ashamed to say it either. And then I have another delivery this week for some more nails. Y'all, my nails are always fake. I stopped getting my nails done a year and a half, 2 years before COVID. Somewhere there, I was just like, yeah, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm just going to start doing them at home. And I have used a lot of fake nails, and Kiss is where it's at. I'm just going to tell you, whatever flex technology they say, they stay on my fingers better. They're easier to put on. They come in this is real short length. They're just my favorite. I always have, again, not sponsored. But anytime you see me with the nails on, 90% of the time they are Kiss nails. So that is what we have in here. I do see that I need to put my last quarter moon phase up here. I missed that. And then I can stick some stickers on here. And I'm going to use one of those stickers to cover up this pin mark. Okay, that's all I'm going to do for the stickers at the moment. As the week goes along, I might plug some more in there just to fill in the hollow gaps. See how that all works out. I am going to put a line in here just to delineate some things between one section of the page and another. I feel like it needs it. May not need it. I just feel like it needs it. And I'm going to do one other thing that I didn't plan to do. I'm going to use this Tombow N89 just to highlight the week that we are on. That's a very, I don't even know if you can see that. That's a very warm, light warm gray. So it doesn't stand out too much. And for now, that'll be it. Let's go ahead and jump from this to, even though I have this month set up, I am going to do a little bit of a monthly dashboard cover page. I have here another one of my clock images. These I typically pull out of Canva. I just look for the clock image that I want. I'm trying to get rid of that ring light. It's fine. It's going to be right in the middle of it. But in this particular instance, I couldn't find what I needed. And this is the first time I have successfully used an AI generated image within Canva. And I basically told it I want a witch's clock on her workspace with her herbs and potions. And this is what it gave me. And I love it. So that's how Beth's using AI. It generate the clock image that she wanted because I couldn't find one. And I looked for witch clock, I looked for magic clock, I looked for Halloween clock, and I could not find one that I liked that matched the vibe of the rest of these stickers. So we ended up with an AI generated one. I didn't have to change the colors or anything. It is the way it popped out, and it's perfect. I'm not going to say they're always going to be perfect, but sometimes AI does have its uses. So we're going to go ahead and stick this in over here. I am going to erase just with my pencil eraser because, like I said, the cats have absconded with my other eraser. This thing that says October print, because again, this is clear sticker paper and I don't want it to poke through. Guys, I could not get this sticker paper off the back of this one. When you have a journal that you are using for the first time, one of the things I typically stick under this side to keep it from leaning towards the desk is also my eraser. I don't know where. So for now, I'm going to use that same Tombow that I just used just to give me a little bit stability on this side. And I'm not going to push on that a whole lot. Do it with a tissue. See? Look at that. See the ink coming off of that? One more time. That's why we don't like glossy sticker paper. And it will come off in the journal too. Other thing that I am going to do on this page, since we already have a calendar back here, is do a little bit of a habit tracker, just 3 of them. And one of those is going to be that shadow work that I talked about that I want to do. Because again, it's something that's anomalous. It is not of the usual like steps and sleep that I want to track. And then I'm also going to put a bill tracker on the same thing. And in my September setups on the weekly, I had started putting my recurring bills like Netflix and Spotify, and then indicating whether they were work or personal related, because the work ones I can expense. I had started tracking those here. I think I'm going to put them here for now, along with a couple of things. So we're going to do the shadow work. I'm going to put stretching, and that's just because I have been extra stiff of late. I have downloaded an app called Bend. It is an app that you pay for. I highly recommend it. I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and it has got stretching workouts that are like 10 minutes long that are meant to loosen up the muscles from sitting at a desk. If you need to work on this area of your body, you can do a 20-minute stretching session, and it guides you through everything in case you don't know how to use the stretches. And it'll even tell you the ones that are like risky for you to do if you have a problem area kind of thing. Again, it's called Bend. How many times have I said not sponsored in this video? Not sponsored. It's just another one of those things that I've decided I really like. I caught it on sale, so it was like $20 for a year subscription, as opposed to whatever it normally is. I think it's closer to 40 or 50. I don't know where it's at right now, because again, I caught it on sale. The other one I have here is Spirit, and this is more along the lines of that morning routine that I talked about, and trying to find something there, whether it's journaling morning pages or something to just reset my spirit in the morning so that I'm not just jumping out of bed, taking a shower, running to work, and I'm starting my day with a good level head. The written spirit, because that could manifest in a couple of different ways, but it's just something that I feel, like I said before, now that my sleep is regulated a little bit more than it usually has been throughout my life, maybe a morning routine is something that I can pull off. I just have to be very intentional about it. So it's popping up in different places. But I have grabbed my super fine liner. This is a 005 because we are going to make some lines in that grid here on this page. It's going to take me a minute to do that. We'll pop in here in a second when it's done. There is that structure for that tracker, and I went with the 005 because I wanted those lines to be very light. I also wanted them to be irregular on the page as well. So we are going to go ahead and write in habits and bills. And then again, those habits are shadow, stretch, and spirit. And I haven't decided how I'm going to fill those out. I don't know if I'm going to keep this dot marker with me throughout the month like I am the yellow, or if I'm just going to fill it in with a dot or an X or cross hatches. I don't know yet. We'll find out tomorrow because I am filming this on the 30th. And do I need to decorate this page? That's the question. No, we're going to leave it for now. The other thing that I feel like I need is a pretty hefty area for a brain dump, or what I've started calling the voices in my head. So we're going to go ahead and put that here. If I can write without turning the book to the side. Yeah, it's not pretty, is it? And we're going to do a simple grid using that same Pigma Micron, the 005. But I am going to try and go back to making a notation of which area of my life does that brain dump come from. And so I'm going to go back to my little symbols that I was using for each area. So the sun is for my day job, because day job. The moon is for Dots and Beyond, because it's my night job. The star is for the side hustle that I have right now. And then Saturn is for just my personal things I need to get done, projects I need to do around the house, that sort of thing. And there is that structure. I've given myself 2 spreads because I'm coming out of September feeling very discombobulated. Again, I have so much happening this past week. I barely used my journal. I didn't touch it. It was just full-blown work, not a whole lot of time for personal, not a whole lot of time for Dots and Beyond or anything else. Just had to get through the week. And I had it with me. I just didn't use a lot. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes you have weeks where you don't get it all written down. I do need to be more intentional about maybe reviewing my day and jotting some things down at the end of the day, just so I can note those accomplishments, because I did a great amount of things this week. I don't think I wrote any of them down, but I am going to put some stickers up here just to make it interesting. Any of the ones that will fit, that one will fit. But I gave myself plenty of space to purge all of the things out of my mind and then just indicate which domain they fall into. And this is not where I'm going to put things like laundry. This is going to be, again, where those home projects and other things live. And then once I have them down on here, I can go through and, so say I put a dot here and I put a project out, I can put a forward arrow on it if I schedule it onto a specific day. And we are going to go ahead and set up for tomorrow. So typically for me, October 1st falling on a Sunday would fall into the last week of September. But I already told you I barely used my journal this week. I haven't set up a whole lot. I also like the idea, because it is just the one day, of getting all of October into this new journal since it is set up for the whole quarter. And so we're going to go ahead and just get part of Sunday set up. And again, I've been experimenting with what I want that to look like. I've already put a line in here using a very light gray Pigmamicron on the third mark. And this is one of the ones where the Bullet Journal Edition 2 has the third markers for you, so it's easy to separate the page so that I have a space for headers. Because what I tend to do is set up my day, and then if it's a day that I have therapy, I write down the time and therapy, and then I take my therapy notes. Or if I am watching a video and taking notes on it, I put the name of the video, and then I take notes, or the name of the class, and then I take the notes. So I have the header here, and I know that everything over here relates to it until I get to another header. But we're going to go ahead and put part of this in. I'm also returning to putting in a star and a heart for an accomplishment or some gratitude for the day. That I've had the habit of it in the last few weeks because, again, I was just hanging by a thread and trying to get through the month. I've told every single one of my coworkers that if I can get past September 30th, which was today, and I did have an event this morning from 9 until 1, that if I could get through today, then I could take a nap. And so all my coworkers have been like, go take a nap, Beth, just go take a nap. So I've started now putting the year and the month up here. I'm just putting the day and the day of the week here. So the first is on a Sunday. I moved my weather here because our weather changes by the minute, and putting it on my weekly makes no sense. And let's just talk about the fact that it's supposed to be 93 degrees tomorrow on October 1st. I'm a sun girl. I like the sun. I'm tired of the sun. Even I am ready for fall. And y'all, when I say that, when I'm like, bring me the hot chocolate, bring me the cider, let the leaves fall, the world's pretty much ending. Because I am a Leo. I grew up on the equator. I like my sun. And I'm done. It has been the hottest damn summer, and I am over it. The other thing that I do is put a little blurb that comes directly out of my CoStar app, which is a horoscope app, just because I didn't want to search for another quote app or any of that sort of thing. I use this symbol because it is the sun symbol, and I'm a Leo. I could use the Leo symbol, but the sun symbol's easier. I have that stencil. It is right here. I keep this little stencil with me, and I use this circle that's inside this other shape right here to get that circle. Just put a dot in the middle of it. I do have also a triangle. I haven't been using it throughout this setup, and my triangles have been pretty janky. Okay, this video is supposed to go up on Sunday. We'll see if it happens, because it is now 10 o'clock on Saturday night. I'm still gonna have to edit this. This is how we're rolling, y'all. Normally I would have filmed this sometime during the week ahead of time. Had time to edit it. But again, I had 3 events this week, and that's just all we did. Alright, so my co-star app for tomorrow says power struggles should be consented to. Normally it's a little more something I can get behind. There's no power struggles around here, especially on the weekend. I am it. I am the power in my house. I'm just kidding. Anyway, and I am going to put down just a few to-dos so that y'all can see what that looks like. Okay, so this is how my day is going to start out. I need to edit, post the October plan with me. What's probably going to happen first, because I had an event today, there are a number of creators that I love who drop videos on Saturday morning. And I typically have a Saturday morning YouTube session when I first wake up, like with my coffee and whatever I'm having for breakfast on Saturday. The closest thing to a morning routine I have is whenever I wake up on Saturday, I catch up on YouTube. I didn't do that today because, again, I had an event from 9 and so I'll probably catch up on YouTube first in the morning. Then I need to edit and post this video. I'm going to do some laundry. This is where I put things like laundry. It's just on a regular daily list. I need to clean out my car because in addition to the 3 events that I had this week, I had 3 or 4 other events this month. And I have loaded and unloaded and loaded and unloaded my car with event materials a multitude of occasions. It's a mess. It looks like I've been living in it. And now that has died down, I need to clean out my car. And then we put on the weekly, flip back to that, a Walmart delivery on Monday. And that is typically because I put in that Walmart delivery or that Walmart order on a Sunday. So I've gone ahead and reminded myself to put in a Walmart order. There's going to be other things that I need to stick on this list. I can think of a few things off the top of my head right now, but this video is already long enough. We have planned for October. Y'all, we have got it going on. So let's go ahead and look back at, we went ahead and filled in some quarterly intentions, more the fun stuff. I've made sure I've got my tracker ready to go. This jumps straight into our October monthly, which again, I'm going to try to use more for memory keeping. We'll see how this shakes out. And this again is trying to figure out if I went with a pre-printed planner, what would I use these monthly pages for? Because most of them do come with them, and that's why this experiment exists. And then the week, here we have, and again, I apologize for the pencil lines, but I'll get rid of those when I can find the eraser. But we have my weekly set up. I'll continue to plan on this through the course of the week, and then we can see what that looks like once that gets all set up. And then we have October. Again, I like to have just wherever my October notes are going to start, I like to have some kind of header page to indicate that is that location. I could stick an October tab on it. I probably will. For now, I've got my today tab on it, just to use as a thumb tab, and these are just regular old white tabs, y'all, that I write on with a permanent marker. But we have those 3 habits, and then the bills that I want to track here, and then the voices in my head. Again, this is just a brain dump or a master list for the month, so to speak. Most of this will actually be home, dots and beyond, or the side hustle, but there are some work things that I'm probably going to put on here just to prompt myself to make sure that they get into my work system. Gotta write them down somewhere. Here is today, or tomorrow for me, today for you if you are watching this on Sunday, October 1st, or in the past for you if you're watching it on a different day. And that is it. I'm going to keep these floating around to use on my other October weeklies. I might stick some of them in and around my daily. I don't do a whole lot of that. I have started sticking in things like pictures of ticket stubs using a pocket printer. I have an HP Sprocket. It's not nearby. Can't grab it and show it to you at the moment. But I've started using it a little bit more often to document some things and have more pictures and stuff in here for me to remember. And that is it. And we'll see when it comes time for November whether I print another set of stickers. Again, if y'all are interested in me making those sticker sheets public, just because I've curated that collection of already existing Canva art, let me know down in the comments below. Also, let me know what is the one thing you want to do in October. Like I said, I need to take at least one hike. Just one. Let me know what you want to do this October, regardless of what hemisphere you are in. Because if you are in Australia or South Africa, you're going into a totally different season than we are. It's warming up, it's getting hot for you. So maybe you're going scuba diving and we're taking hikes. Let me know in the comments below. If you like these more plan with me style videos, you guys are gonna let me know. Give me a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.